Hello, everybody. I hope everybody's doing good. I'm Katrina. This is Sow and Tare live. Excuse me. This is Sow and Tare live chat. Every Monday we do this, 6 p.m. Pacific time, and you guys can ask any questions. We'll do question and answer, and we're gonna have a topic discussion partway through. So, welcome everybody. Let us know where you're from, what you're growing, and what you're planning on growing. And yeah, things are going good here. Next week, I may or may not do a live. If I do, it is going to be a like probably unannounced. It's probably going to be just, hey, hi guys. It's my birthday next week. So on the 1st, an April Fool's baby. So I may or may not be doing a live, and so that's just something to know. But every other Monday after that, we're going to do this. All right, let's scroll up to the top. Please keep comments family friendly, and let's see who's here. Hey, Ed's here. Welcome, Ed. Says hi to everybody. Welcome, welcome. Yes, and Dawn got the first like. She says this is pretty funny. Yeah, it just erased your comment. Yeah, I know, Dawn. I know. I saw your thing on Facebook. Oh, another person had a comment that was erased too. The first comment I see is Ed's. So if you commented a long time ago, I don't see it. Say it again. Welcome. Eric is here. Welcome, welcome. All right. Erica, if you have a recipe for next month, go ahead and email it to me. Oops, I actually have to click into the box for this to work. Oops. Spell things right. There we go. There's my email. So Erica, if you want me to find a recipe, I can do that. If you want to share a recipe, let me know. All right. Erica is one of Katrina's kits, and she recommended something. She wants to make something on the 20th next week. No, the 20th next month will be when Katrina's kits is meeting. We haven't figured out time. I think 11 is probably what it's going to be. Anyway, if you have not checked out Katrina's kits, I suggest you do it because why can't I go to the desktop? Because it's a lot of fun and we do a lot of things. Man, this new computer took away my little shortcut to the desktop. Anyway, so we can do that. Once I get to the desktop, I'll give you the link. Maybe. If I ever get there, I have so many things open right now, guys. I've been working on my taxes, so that's one thing. All right, let's get you guys back. If you're interested, this is the link for the Cook With Me Live, and it's a whole lot of fun. All right, Verna's here. Welcome, welcome, Verna. Verna is Vay's Place. You'll see her in blue with a little wrench, and she catches bad guys. She's my moderator. So if you are growing food into small spaces, check out her channel. She does lives on Wednesdays and Saturdays, all about stuff in apartment growing. So she does a lot of good stuff. Check her out. Uh-oh. Change of weather, Verna says, was 44 for high yesterday, 71 for high today. We've been in the 70s, 60s and 70s, and we've been getting some rain. Not a whole lot. But I know Midwest and East, you guys have been getting some storms, huh? Hopefully everybody's doing well with storms. Oh, Verna, that causes migraines? Well, if you hop off, I'll know why. I hope you're able to to get some rest with that, or from that. Barometric pressure. Yep. Yep. It erases the first comment. You know, I think it's when it gets too late, or I don't know why it doesn't. I just know I can tell you guys what the first comment is I see. Oh, Steve. Welcome, Steve. I was getting my tea. I'm drinking a blackcurrant black tea today. Welcome. Steve, how many more days until QuailCon? QuailCon is homesteading, quail and homesteading convention. What is the official name of it now? If you are new to quail or want to grow quail, I am putting in the link for Quail University, a 101 course. I am actually working on a course for Quail University as well, with raising quail in aviaries. And so that will be out at some point. It's supposed to be out at some point this year. And yeah, there you go. I know a lot of people on here who are commenting are quail people. Oh, Dawn says, I had barometric pressure in my knees for a year. Couldn't even walk. Had to sit down until it passed. You know, the weather does affect people, for sure. Glad it's gone now. All right. Everybody saying hi. TM's hi. Shouldn't we be watching the chat by now? What? Oh. Was my clock off? I'm sorry. Hello. TM, I told you I was going to tell you a story, and I don't remember what it was, so you're going to have to remind me what it was. David's here. Why are you saying cluck cluck, Verna? Welcome. And I'm glad you're having good bunnies. David has some bunnies at home. Oh, signs of life from your strawberries, Verna. Good. I think my strawberries, a lot of them are doing well. I have flowers, as you guys saw if you watched the video today. I have some flowers on some of them. I even have some green fruit on some of them. A couple weeks ago, there was a red berry. I was going to pick it, and I was like, oh, I'll just wait. Well, I waited 2 days, and because of the moisture that we've been having, it rotted. Like, it molded very quickly. I was like, oh man. So anyway, good luck with that. I did buy some, because I'm going to do some more. I'm going to replace what may be dead, maybe not. I don't know. I'll have to see. A lot of them went brown. The end of the summer, I kind of stopped watering a lot of that green stock. I was gone, and then things didn't quite get watered. But I will be replacing dead ones, and then I want to put some more in another green stock. If you guys haven't seen the green stock that I use, they are awesome. There'll also be a video. Tomorrow's video is going to involve the green stock. And it's really good. In the comments, not the comments, in the description of all my videos, I have a green stock link for you to get $10 off your first purchase. And yeah, so I got some strawberries, and right now in the nursery they have, your 6-pack of strawberries, your single pack of strawberries, and then they also have the bare root strawberries. And so some of them are starting to grow, some of them haven't started to really grow yet, but they are in a bundle, and you can get those and asparagus in a very similar way. I think it's like 25 in a bundle, and it was, I want to say it was like less than $4. It's a whole lot less to buy bare root than others, and I'll be doing a video on that as well. Anyway, yes, strawberries, awesome. PJ's here, PJ's Family Farm. Hey, I'm from the Catskill Mountains of New York. Hi, PJ. Is it winter at your house still? PJ's also Katrina's kid. Yay. Cooks with us every month. Thank you, Verna. Happy or early blessed natal day. Thank you. Thank you. Ken says my alarm clock went off and I just remembered why it went off. Ken, you're hilarious. You are hilarious. Welcome, welcome. Buster says hi to all. Welcome, Buster. Oh, okay. Don says my, I guess that's best friend because I think you're married. I wouldn't be boyfriend. Is April Fool's baby. Yep, I was early too. I came early as a surprise to my parents. Thank you, Don. Happy early birthday. Everybody say happy birthday. Thank you. Thank you, Erica. Yeah. All right. Everybody's saying hello. Awesome. Thank you, Erica. Another spin. This is from David. Another spin around the sun. Are you the one causing the solar activity? Oh my gosh, you guys. I read about this. So there's supposed to be Northern Lights, Aurora Borealis, as far south as Alabama. I didn't actually look at a map, but I read that on an article today, tonight. So if it's dark where you are, it's not dark here yet. Take a peek outside and see it. You know, if it's not cloudy, you might be able to see something. We had some massive. There was two things, right? I don't remember what they're called, but there's a solar flare and a mass coronal ejection. Is that right? It is something like that. Anyway, and apparently it affects, was it shortwave or longwave radio? Some sort of radio stuff it can affect. I know in the past stuff like that has happened and some grids went down. So like, I don't remember how many years ago it was, but I remember hearing that some grid went down in Florida when that happened. Electrical grid. And I don't remember like how long it was out or anything like that. So yeah, but that's not me. Not me. Win and D will take you to the desktop. What? Do I have that? Win and D. Steve, you're a genius. Thank you. Yeah, they used to have a little like bar on the side, but this is a different kind of computer, so it doesn't have that. Both Dell and HP had that little thing on the bottom on the side that you could just click on. And this one is, what is it? It's an Asus, so it doesn't have that. Anyway, there you go. Don't forget about your bearded iris story. Okay, thank you, Tim. I knew that I had said something and I did not remember what I said because he's been busy. Yeah, so talking about bearded irises. Number one, if you guys saw the video today, yes, they are still overcrowded. Yes, I am trying to sell some of my bearded irises, and yes, I have not been pushing them out on Craigslist or anything like that. So hard to sell things when you're not advertising. But so I love bearded irises. It's my favorite flower. I have some that were from my parents' house. They have, there's one in particular that actually has never, it's still alive, but it's never bloomed since it's been here. So I don't know what's up with that, but it was brown and white. So it's this brown color and white. And so that was really cool. But there was, so I'm a biologist, I'm a wildlife biologist. I work for a consulting agency or not agency, firm, a consulting firm. And so we go to random places that, you know, we're hired to go and assess different things. And one of the places I went was a school, and I just needed to know from the person who was there, hey, is this planter box going away or is it staying? Like, do I need to, you know, what do I need to do? Because part of it is just explaining what's happening. So like, what's the project plan? And he goes, oh, do you want anything in it? I'm like, that wasn't why I was asking, but sure. And so I came back after work and I spent, I don't remember how many hours, a couple hours at least, digging irises. And all of the irises were from 4 parent plants. So if you don't know how bearded irises grow, they're like a rhizome. It's kind of like, it looks like ginger. And once you plant it, it goes outward and up. And then, it'll regrow. But every year it's going to be a little further from its start. So asparagus also grows kind of directionally. But what it also does is when it has room around it, it will actually spread in all directions if it's old enough. So these were 4 parent plants that were like humongous. And I didn't have a house yet. I had a great opportunity to get these irises. I was living at my grandma's. And I will tell you how you can store your irises for more than a year and have them successfully be just fine. So I was very careful to keep them in separate bags. I broke them apart and I cut the leaves. They didn't have flowers at the time, so I didn't have a clue what color they were. But I wanted to keep them apart, so I knew that they were different. And you cut the leaves short in a triangle, and that was how I cut them. And so each little thing that didn't have big leaves, it was cut back and it got small and put in a bag. And what I did is I had 4 different bags for the 4 different mother plants, and I figured they were probably different colors. And I brought them home. I got some vermiculite and I stored them in the paper bags in layers of vermiculite for more than a year in the bedroom that I was living in, at my grandma's house. And when I got my house, okay, here's how you be productive when you're not productive. This is something that happened. Okay, I was putting up the curtains. Here, I'll show you guys actually. So up there, those curtains. I was putting up those curtain, the brackets to hold them, and I was getting through the house. I was getting most of them done. I got to my bedroom, and I drilled the pilot, and then it just went boom. It made a hole in the wall, like a hole, like this. But I was very upset. And when I get very upset, I'm unable to focus on doing things. And I know this, so I should not do anything. But I was in such a mode that I'm like, I have to get things done. I have to get things done. When I moved here, I was doing things every day. I was doing things like well into the night, changing things, painting things, scraping things. I mean, people would wake up in the morning and see something different in the yard. Like, oh, I guess she built that last night. Oh, I guess this is happening. And so the neighbors would be like, oh, what'd you do yesterday? And so I had to be productive because I just needed things to be done. When I got the house, I had a goal of, there's certain things you have to do inside, but I did have a goal of having every permanent plant in my yard within a year. And I almost made that only because I keep buying plants or getting cuttings or whatever. So with that, I was upset. I was not going to be able to focus on something that needed like good attention. One of those times where you're like, if I break another thing, I am just going to snap. And so I went to the local Orchard Supply Hardware used to be here, and they had a good nursery. And so I went there. I got I think it was like 15 bags of potting soil, not potting. I think it was, I don't know, some sort of bagged soil. I don't remember what it was. I think it was a combination of potting and compost. I don't know. It may or may not have been the right thing, but it's okay. It's what they had, and it's what I could get. And previous to this, I had jackhammered up the park strip in front of my house. The park strip is the place between the sidewalk and the street. And that was previously very heavily pebbled, I'm sure it has a name that I don't know, concrete or cement. And those pebbles go all the way through. That was actually my garden beds. So it's still on the property. That's what my garden beds are in the back, is that urbanite. And so that was about that thick. And so it needed to be brought up. The soil had been, pretty much almost lifeless under there for years. And so I decided I'm going to just get this bag of soil, put it on there, and plant what I need to plant. And that's what I did. So that night, the whole park strip got planted with bearded irises. And I, of course, had saved these bags, these 4 different bags, separate mother plants, assuming separate colors. And so I decided I'm going to mix them. I'm going to say I want these here, and then from this bag over here, and then this bag over here, so that it would be a nice kind of pleasant mixture of color when you looked at it. I had no idea what color it was. Well, May comes around. They're all purple. They're all exactly the same. They probably came from the same mother plant originally. I happen to like purple. You guys should know that by now. But that was just a funny thing because I had no clue, and I was being so careful to be like, oh, this is going to look so good. I don't even know what colors are, but it's going to be good. And I got all those for free. And as you know, maybe you don't know, bearded irises can be quite expensive. I mean, $8 for 1 crown is not unheard of. And so that's my story. Thank you for the prompt, TM. There you go. Bearded irises have no value, as far as I know, for edibility. They do act as a snail and slug trap. They're just pretty, and they smell good. All right. Let's see. Who else? Erica says, we are getting inundated. Get out the boat, huh? Yeah, I saw there was this big splotch on the radar over by you guys. Steve says, storms tonight are just high winds and rain. Shouldn't amount to much else. Good. Oh. Dawn says Ryan Hall, y'all, is live with all the tornadoes going on. Oh my gosh. Hopefully no tornadoes by you guys. That is my hope. That is my hope. You can't see his map on the computer. All right. Okay. Verta says took a 3-hour nap earlier. I still got it. Oh man. Quail and Homestead Con. Okay. Thank you, Verna. That's the official name. So that's changed because Zach is wanting to make it a much more inclusive event for all sorts of self-sufficient lifestyle stuff. And he has some pretty cool stuff coming up. I don't know what I'm allowed to say and not say. So there you go. All right. Buster says, I have to light my burn barrels tonight. It's going to get down to 27. Hope my fruit trees make it. Well, good luck to you, Buster. And you said last time you did that, it worked well, right? So I hope it works well for you tonight. Steve says, Quail and Homesteading Con, 159 days. Awesome. Awesome. I should probably get my plane ticket. I looked into getting plane ticket stuff for the eclipse, which is the 8th of April. If you have not seen a total eclipse and you're close to where you can see a total eclipse, go to where you can see a total eclipse. I'm likely not going to go anyplace because, I mean, airfare at least is like $1,600 to anywhere within that area. It's ridiculous. Yeah, there you go. But if you can go check it out, it's worth seeing the full thing. I did see the one in 2017. I don't know what's going on with my hair, but it keeps on falling down. So you're just going to keep on dealing with it. Steve says, the name is supposed to be Backyard Homesteading and QuailCon. It's supposed to be, but it's not? Okay. Whatever it's called, we'll be there. I'm going to be there. All right. Okay, Dawn says earlier it said you weren't going to get tomatoes. Tornadoes. Yeah, no one get tornadoes, please. Everybody get tomatoes. Oh, David said 35 for a low here tonight. You're on the wrong side of the state. Okay. Everybody's saying it's south of where Dawn is. Good. Good. It's been weird weather. It has, Buster. Everywhere it has been. Yeah, for sure. Rita says I can. Oh, you can name your alarms because it tells you why you said it. That's smart. That's smart. Best friend. That's what I thought, Dawn. But I was like, whoop. Sunsford's you're 14 years old. Awesome. And Steve says I name her my reminders, but not my alarms. Okay. Oh my gosh, PJ has freezing rain, snow, rain, slush, then all ice. Lots without power. Storm was Saturday, some still without power, but you never lost power. Wow. Yeah. I hope you continue to not lose power and that you do well. That's a lot without power. Steve says raining in Mississippi, Alabama. You're not getting any. All right. You're going to let us know if you see what? Tornadoes, Verna? When you take Lucy out after the live stream? Or strawberries? I don't know. PJ says, I'm outside now. Gotta not move solar lights. Okay. Someone says, radar here is showing rain, heavy red sections. Not much of anything actually coming down. More like mist. And that's actually why, I mean, I'm a part of, let me look up the website because I know that would be more helpful. Coco Ross. So this is a website. You guys can be your own weather reporter. I mean, it's precipitation that they're talking about, but it is Community Collaborative Rain, Hail, and Snow Network. And the only thing you have to buy is the rain gauge because it's an official rain gauge that's more accurate. And you can be a citizen. It's citizen science, so you can be a reporter basically, and that information actually goes to NOAA, who is, I mean, they do all the weather stuff, and it's used. And the reason why it was started is because basically a whole town got flooded out, and they didn't have warning that it was going to be like rain. So, yeah, it's basically learning to interpret the radar data better. Is what they use that information for. And then also if someone is reporting basically emergency situations, then they'll spread that out and tell people in the area, if enough people in the area are like, hey, something's happening, then they'll actually, do an alert based on that, which is pretty cool. Yeah. Oh, Ken says last night there was a lunar eclipse and I didn't hear about it. So I didn't see it. Ken, I didn't hear about it and didn't see it either. It was a big moon, or not a big moon, but was it a full moon? It was big. Not big, but was a circle. How about that? Oh, PJ says it's clear out, but couldn't see anything. You're in the valley. Okay. Gotta be right over you, huh? Dawn says, I have bearded irises from my 93-year-old neighbor, and one is from her mother. Isn't that amazing? It's amazing. Dawn says, I stopped taking bulbs out of the ground to overwinter and have left these in the ground for years with no trouble. I have never done that either. I grew up with bearded irises, and I mean, it does freeze in Oregon, but it not like in the Midwest. Like, I don't know where our frost line is or freeze line or whatever. It's going to be a whole lot less, though. I mean, a whole lot shallower than a lot of where you guys are. I did lose a bunch of tulips here, and I think that was to rot. Because for a while I was getting it after season from like Lowe's and grocery outlet. I would just get the packet of tulips. And they, most of them grew and they grew for a couple of years. And then now I'm down pretty far from where they were. And I think it was because of some wet years, they got rotted out. So that would be the only reason, is if it freezes down to where the bulbs are, or if you get, you're going to get a lot of water or something. But yeah, other than that, it's okay. Senator Cake's here. Tommy, welcome. Hope you're doing well. You captured a UFO on your shorts? There was one time I was driving over Pacheco Pass, which is that way, and everybody was pulled over on the side of the road. And I was like, what the heck is going on? So, of course, I pulled over, right? Sheep. And I looked up. I actually had my binoculars, and everybody was looking at this shiny thing in the sky. I'm like, well, that's weird. And I got out my binoculars, and I'm like, okay, it's a weather balloon, guys. So there's a lot of stuff floating out there, and a UFO is unidentified flying object. So it's unidentified until it's identified. Hopefully you have clear enough images you can tell what it is or what it isn't. Awesome, though. Awesome. Bam said it was SpaceX, but it was from the west. Elon is South Texas and Florida. I saw Starlink once, which is his satellite, internet stuff, and it does look very concerning when you see it, for sure. It's split into 3 lights. Okay, we'll have to check it out. Erica says my goats are starting to give me filthy looks when I go out. They seem to be blaming me for the weather. Maybe for the fact that I can't go out, huh? Oh my goodness. Hey, Andy. Welcome. Andy Rabbit's here. Verna says, glad you made it. I'm glad you made it too. Silver Creek says, Texas will see total eclipse. Come on, y'all. I'll do a barbecue and sightseeing tour. I was thinking about it. It's not gonna work for me, I think. I did see the 2017 one though, and that was very cool. Andy's gonna be able to see it firsthand right on the porch. That's good. Good. And Erica says we are in the middle of eclipse path. We are not looking forward to the influx of people. Erica, that was the same thing with my parents. Like, I had a friend over. He's like, oh, I didn't make plans. I'm like, drive up to my parents. He's like, oh, that'd be weird. I'm like, we're gonna have other people there. Like, you might not have a bed. You might have to sleep on the floor, but drive up to my parents. And he did, and he had a good time. And where he is, it's gonna be cloudy. So this time. But my parents had friends over. I came up, all of that. But we all came up like way before, and there was still some traffic. But there was not the influx of traffic if you were just coming up for like those couple days. And that was my plan, and I think it's a good plan. If you're going somewhere, go there early, and go out there. So that is what I recommend. Make sure you get eclipse glasses that are actual eclipse glasses. So I actually have mine out. Everything lives in this room. Don't you guys feel that way sometimes when I give you show and tell? All right. These are actual eclipse glasses. They're good for 3 years because of the silver, I think, in them. And they have a certification on here with a year. Conforms to and meets the transmission requirements of ISO 12312-2 filters for direct observation of the sun. If it doesn't say something like that on it, I would not trust it. And, you know, like I can't see anything through it right here, looking at the computer. Something else to consider if you don't have an appropriate filter on your camera, because who has that unless you're actually taking pictures of the sun, you can do this and just tape it on it as long as this actually fits over it. And that worked fine for me. It works. Just make sure you have extras, right? You can also get welding masks works. They have to be over a certain number. Does anybody know what that number is? It's like 16 or 19 because there's numbers associated with these things. I know someone had mentioned to me, oh, Harbor Freight has those welding goggles. No, don't get those. If you can see through it, it's not dark enough. And check those numbers before you get it, because you don't want to do permanent damage to your eyes. Now, if you're going to chase eclipse, I mean, totally get the actual goggles that are the right number rating. I don't know what it's called. Because I mean, they're going to be a lot more, probably more comfortable than this. Yeah, and then get your filter too. So anyway, there's my 2 cents. All right. Yeah, and then influx of people. Yeah. Stay home. Or know where you're going and get there early. Make sure you have gas, make sure you have water, make sure you have whatever food you need way in advance. You had to work to be on the show tonight. Andy, what happened? What happened? I'm glad you're here. All right. Looks like severe weather is heading to you, Verna. Okay. Oh, but on April 8th, it'll be raining during that time, so we won't see it. That sucks. That was like this last time. When I went up this last time, which is why I have these to Oregon, it wasn't a full eclipse, but it was a pretty good, you know, almost full. And there is a difference. It was cloudy. Like we saw it through the clouds. So it was fun, it was good, but it was not nearly as impressive as a clear day. So yeah. Silver Creek says, thank you for the grafting video. That was perfectly timed. Absolutely. You're welcome, Tommy. I was carrying something out. So I did those grafting videos. You guys noticed I did have a lot in pots. And those pots are in the screen and porch. And unfortunately, I was carrying something and it bumped one of them and it broke the stick off. I kind of put it back, but I don't think it's going to heal. And anyway, so that was very sad. So I might be one down, but I am growing. I mean, the rootstock will be fine. It will grow. And I'll graft something else on it later. And then also the rootstocks that I cut off, one of them is starting growing. I did one like a couple weeks ago for a friend, and that one is starting to grow. I just have it in a pot of soil a potted plant that is holding water right now. And it's starting to grow, which is pretty cool. But yeah, if you haven't experienced grafting, check out those videos. They're from, when did I do that? Yesterday and Tuesday, I think. I don't remember. It's been a couple videos ago. So for the first one. But you're welcome and good luck. Jennifer's here. Welcome, Jennifer. And it says, good evening. Good evening. I hope you're doing well. Oh, the Northern Lights. Yes, Verna. It says, I will let you know if I see the Northern Lights when I take Lucy out. Yes, if you are just now coming in, the Northern Lights should be visible to a lot of places in the United States tonight because the sun is doing funky things. And if you have a clear day, you might be able to see them. If you haven't seen the Northern Lights, also called Aurora Borealis, they are pretty dang cool to see. I've seen them a few times, and the first time I saw them was in Alaska, and they were mostly green with one little speck of purple, and they dance. They're just dancing. And then I also saw them in Iowa, and it was red. So I've seen them. And I guess I saw him again in Alaska from the airplane on a different day, but it was up there. So they are pretty darn cool. So check that out tonight if you are cloud free. Oh, yeah, Verna. Okay. Yeah, Andy Rabbit did sneak in, didn't she? Silver Creek says NOAA only active on information based on the last 70 years. They know nothing. LOL. Just kidding. Being the controversial being I'm expected to be, Silver Creek says. Yeah, so I mean, that is a good point, is that technology actually goes pretty quickly, but even like electric lights, I mean, are fairly new as far as our society goes, right? But reporting, looking at a radar and seeing what's on there and discovering what it means does take time. I mean, you can see bird migration sometimes on radar. You can see hummingbird migration or hummingbird migrations you can pick up on radar. If you know what you're looking at, you'd be like, oh, that's hey, there's something migrating. Otherwise, there's just this little storm cloud going all around, right? But that is a good point. We have the data, and our data is getting better of what we can get with all the newer technologies. But our understanding and ability to read that data changes all the time, right? We increase it, we make mistakes, we increase it again, and so the same understanding with lots of things. I mean, at some point in history, it was scientific fact that this world was flat. It's not. But people did not have the science available to them, the measuring devices available to them, etc., to measure what our world is. So understanding that what we know today may change is important. And that's a foundation of science, scientific principle, right? Yeah. It was full yesterday. Thank you, Verna. You knew what I was talking about, the moon. Andy says, guys, we need some prayers that what needs to be heard tomorrow will be clear to who needs to hear it loud and clear. Okay. I don't know what that's relating to, but we will be doing that. And I hope everything ends up good. Dawn says, we all leave irises in the ground. Heavy freezes will push the tubers up to the top of the ground, but they keep growing, or you can put soil on them. Okay. And that action, if anybody is wondering why the ground moves above things too, that's called frost heaving. It heaves things up from the frost line. There's a grave marker for I had a cat growing up. Her name was Casper. She was actually mentally retarded she was sick when she was little, and she came out a little messed up. One crossed eye. She didn't have a crossed eye before that. She had some thinking issues, but it did retard her. I don't know what it does, but it did something to her brain. But she was the most lovable cat that was afraid of everything. And so when she passed, my dad buried her in the backyard, and she always wanted to drink. I got this, I think I got it at a garage sale or something, but it was a little tiny planter, like for plants. It was like that big, and it was a fish. And we always found it humorous because she always wanted the water out of there, and so we put it in the garden so the sprinkler would get water in there, and that water is apparently much yummier than the water we gave her. And so when she was buried, my dad put that on top of where she was to mark her, and I think there's about that much of that fish still above ground. The rest of it, the frost has moved it down, which is interesting. Yeah. Steve says, I posted the steps on how to create a desktop link in your quick launch file on Friends of Sow and Tare. Cool. I don't even know what a quick launch file is. I need to learn these things, Steve. Technology is not my strong point. Teach me. Thank you. Yeah, I know Alt-Tab is a lifesaver. You can just do Alt and then Tab through whatever's open. Yeah, it works. Okay. Andy had trouble getting on tonight. It kept saying the video was restricted. Did anybody else get that? Because I definitely didn't do it. I did not post it as restricted. Let us know if you guys had trouble too. I'm sorry, Andy. Erica says she's praying for you, Andy. There's something in your settings. Okay. Bob's here. Time to say howdy, y'all. Howdy, y'all. Hi, Bob. I hope you're doing good at your high elevation place, and hope everything's going well. Let us know what you're up to. Everybody saying hi. Oh, pea-sized hail or snowballs here. Man, everybody's getting stuff. We've been getting, the last 2 days, we've been getting like downpour, then nothing. Downpour, then nothing. And like, not yesterday. The 2 days before that. There was, and it was funny because it was 0.37 of an inch. And then the next day it was 0.37 of an inch. And I'm like, I did empty this, didn't I? And it was just really funny. It was exact, but it was just downpouring and then nothing and downpouring and nothing. And very odd weather, just like Buster said. Yeah, exactly, Dawn. She says, I saw Starlink one night and it was spooky. It really is. And then you think about all the satellites that are up there, right? Yeah. Oh my gosh, Andy, I know what you're going to say. Can anyone guess what I found at the store tonight? I'm going to guess it starts with a doctor and ends with a ps. Oh. Yeah, Verna, I saw your video. Verna has a short video out about Mooney's litter. Had 8 kits this time. She did good. Yep, and I was right. Andy has her Dr. Pepper peeps. Everybody guessed it. All right. Dawn says the eclipse will be here in Illinois. I won't see it this time because I can't get outside, but I saw last one anyway. Okay. Yeah, they're very cool. They're very cool. Yeah. You used a welding hood to watch the last one. Exactly, Dawn. Yeah, welding hoods is, I think that's great. Yeah. Might be a little heavy. Aren't those heavy? Or maybe the old ones are heavy and the new ones aren't. Yeah. Erin says, I'm here finally. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Erin. You might be a little too far south, but Aurora Borealis is out tonight. Pretty far south. I mean, it's daylight here, and I don't know exactly where it's going to be, but there you go. Welcome. Yeah, Buster uses a welding helmet too. All right. It was hot in the welding good I wore. I couldn't wait to take it off. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, Steve says welding shade 14 is the darkest and most recommended rating for solar eclipses. I got it. I didn't even try to pronounce that. Should I try and pronounce it now? Welsing? Yeah, okay, so welding shade 14. So if it's anything lighter than that, it's not going to protect your eyes. And that your eyes are important. Your eyes are very important. Are you swimming yet? Uh-oh, is Aaron supposed to get a lot of rain? Aaron says I use a 9. So Aaron, we're talking about for viewing for eclipses. Yeah. And 14 sounds familiar. I think it was a teen in my head. iOS glasses. Where did I put mine? There. Does say that, doesn't it? ISO. ISO. All right. It won't rain much for you. Okay. It is everywhere else, it sounds like. Val's here. Welcome, Val. Hey, everyone. Hey, everyone. How are you? Doing good. We are getting spotty rain, and I think we're going to get rain the next couple days again. So we have these weird, just thick, dark clouds that just like to go over and pass us by. Yeah. But hope you're doing well. And Val, I have no idea. It's dark where you are, right? I think it's in the middle of the night. Can you guys see the Aurora Borealis today? Because tonight there's supposed to be a big show of Aurora Borealis. It's the Northern Lights. Because it's coming down quite far south. Check it out. There you go. Steve says I see Borealis lights every single night. I have a night light that does them on my walls. It's not quite the same. St. Elmo's fire? What is that? Is that the red one? The red lights? Oh boy. Oh, you were waiting for it to start, and then it then had trouble getting on. Andy, I don't know what happened. I'm sorry. Val says I would look forward to seeing them. You are very brave. Brave for what? Oh, for the videos? Yeah. Long as you don't look too, yeah, okay. TM says I would have liked to see the passenger pigeons fly over at one time, but I guess I am a little too late for that. Yep. Tommy, if you're still on, what is the next closest pigeon that, because we don't have passenger pigeons, but we have something else, right? There's racer pigeons, and I know he has racer pigeons. That's why I'm asking Tommy. Come live here, have a spare room. Oh boy. You guys are talking. Dawn says I get frost heave a lot. Most things you can put back in, but I can't grow an aster at all. Frost heave kills them before you can get them back in the ground. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Those the pictures in your Windows icon is your quick launch. Okay. Thank you, Steve. You had trouble too? I wonder what's going on. There's 13 people in here. I did see as high as 15. It shouldn't. Let me just go over here and check and see what it looks like. Let me see real quick. Make sure it's set to public. The settings are good. I don't know. Sorry, guys. Verna's getting 2 a.m. rain. PJ says I have to try and keep my goats out of my irises. Why does that spelling look weird? Irises? I always have to check and make sure they're in the right order too. The goats haven't touched the daffodil leaves yet. They survived the ice storm. They don't eat daffodil leaves, do they? Isn't that not an edible thing? I don't know. Goats are goats. They eat everything. You've been getting, so Val's been getting large hailstones, then bright sunshine. We've been getting like on again, off again with the rain and the sunshine. It's very weird. Okay, Verna has some facts. It's possible the aurora will be visible as far south as Cleveland, according to Erica Grosselli, a NOAA meteorologist, but it's highly unlikely. The view line in the NOAA's aurora forecast shows the aurora reaching southern Michigan, but not pushing beyond Lake Erie. That's from 9 hours ago. Okay. Thank you, Steve, for that number. I think that's the same thing that I read off of here, wasn't it? It looks familiar. Yep. Same thing. Thank you, Verna. Oh my gosh. Rain. Yeah, I'm not going to see Northern Lights in rain. Yep. All right. You guys are talking. No, they don't eat them. I didn't think they would. Because I think aren't they? I don't know if they're toxic, but toxic or poisonous, or I don't know. Maybe they're just not tasty. I know people ate tulip bulbs in like World War II as a starvation food, and it's not recommended. I know you can eat the petals, but it's not recommended in large amounts. And it's not worth it because they just taste like lettuce, like plain old lettuce. But I think there's something in the tulip bulb that you're not supposed to eat as well. But I guess when you don't have anything to eat, there you go. Erica says, we were given eclipse glasses at the library to distribute to patrons. They sent us more glasses than there are people in town. Well, put them on your goats. That's pretty funny. Start selling them online. Come on. PJ says, maybe I should go up on the hill to see if I can see anything, but then I wouldn't be here. It's okay. I accept this. Oh. Yeah, daffodils are deer proof, so they say it is, TM says. There's a lot of things people say is deer proof that isn't, but I think daffodils have something. Yeah, PJ, take a sled, Steve says. Yep. All right. Well, our topic of discussion today was going to be eclipse because it's coming up and because I do not know if I am going to be on next Monday because next Monday is my birthday and I have some plans. So I may or may not, come on my phone. I may or may not do that. I probably will at some point during the day. I don't know if it'll be the same time or not, but if I pop on, feel free to join or ignore. So there's your fair warning. Oh, the library will be closed. Okay. Thank you, TM. Thank you for the birthday wishes. Yeah. All right. Andy said, when I had the squirrel, I was digging up daffodils and he would run around to the other side of my shoulder when he smelled them. Okay. Interesting. Andy says, happy birthday. Thank you. On the next live, it'll be the evening of the eclipse. We can discuss it then on 4/8. What time? Oh, yeah. Okay. We can discuss how it went. We can have a dual feature. Today is pre-eclipse, and then it will be post-eclipse. We can call it post. I was trying to be creative. Post-eclipsal, like apocalypsal. Anyway, it won't do that. Joyce here. Hello, all from Western Oregon. Welcome, welcome. All right, I have a baby to bring you guys, so I'll be right back. All right. Joy says, I love babies. All right, I have a baby. He's very active, so give him a minute. Give him a minute. I brought something to put over my computer. Just a minute. Let me put something over my computer. Yeah, we'll use a water bill. How about that? I already paid it. All right. These little babies. Face out the way. There you go. There you go. They're doing quite well. And we had a pretty spread out hatch. I think I started the humidity a little bit later than I should have. And we didn't have a full incubator. I don't really know what the hatch rate was. So I am collecting eggs to put in Thursday night or Friday morning. Look at you. And you see this one has been chowing down before bedtime. No, face the other way. I know you want to see me. Face the other way. Turn around. You guys see how it has a chest, a bosom? Face that way. So that means it's collecting food to last it overnight. All the birds do this. It's just more visible on the chicks, and this one has quite the setup there. You just want to face me, huh? What if I do this? What happened? Huh? All right. Who has chicks right now? This is a Caternix quail. Ooh. I just want to make sure he doesn't jump off. Face the other way, sweetie. Face that. Is it too bright? I know, there's a light there. What if you face this way? Face that way. All right. PJ says, I have babies like that too. And Joy says, I have those kind of babies. Erica says, mine are teenagers now. Steve says he should have counted the eggs. You put in a few older ones, right? I did. I did put in some quite a bit older ones. And yeah. So it was not an appropriate test. Look at the little tail feathers. Can you guys see the little tail feathers? Oh, thank you for turning around and showing them your butt. Don't poop on me. Yeah, it wasn't really, it was pretty much get the eggs in, and then I delayed, but I was keeping collecting. I just hadn't started it yet. And so I'm like, I'm just going to put them in here. And if they hatch, they hatch. If they don't, they don't. We had several bad eggs that I had to take out before they, explode. Hi, where are you going? Oop. Hi. Landing on my leg, they went running on the table. Yeah, I know. That was an adventure. That was an adventure, huh? No. All right. Anyway, we'll keep him here for a little bit. Erica says, I started chicken eggs Saturday night. Good luck. Dawn says they are always cute no matter how many times you hatch. Absolutely. Absolutely. Best question is, who doesn't have chicks? All right, PJ, who doesn't have chicks? Val's not hatching anymore. Ever or just not for right now? Hopefully you're going to hatch some more at some point. Steve does not have chicks. What? Yeah, Verna, you neither. You miss hatching. Hatching's great. Could you still hatch from others and like sell the babies? Would that be something that you'd be able to do, Myrna? Dawn doesn't have quail or chicks right now. You talking to people? You calling for your brethren? These guys have been fairly quiet. They've been fairly quiet, which is good. What I've taken, oh, chicks are high dander. That's, yeah, I was thinking they stay, the dander stays in the incubator, but I guess when you open it, it doesn't, huh? Let me move this. PJ says, I put turkey and duck eggs in on Saturday. That is very cool. That is very cool. I would love to have ducks one day. I think they're fun. And geese, I think it would be fun too. Joyce says, I'm getting to where I don't keep track of the hatch rate. I'm just happy to get any to hatch after 2 bad hatches. So you're getting good hatches. That's good. That's good, Joy. That's awesome. That was waiting on surgery, so don't want to have babies when you come home. That makes sense. That makes sense. I know. I know. Whose chicks are now peeping because of this one or because of videos? I did notice when I was recording the voiceover for when I was talking about the flowers, there's peeping in the background. Well, you know what room I was in. Different incubator. Good. What kind of incubator did you get, Joy? Should we put you back? Huh? Yeah? Oop. I was going to say we can show the wing. So the little feathers are starting to come in. Can we show them your wing? There's the wing. I know. You're not a fan of that. All right. Dawn says, me too. Sold all the quail until I have surgery. And if it's successful, be able to hatch after. That's good. All right. This little guy is ready to go back. Say bye. Bye. I'll be right back. Well, it waited to poop on me until I got right to by the brooder. Now my hands smell. I washed my hands. I have a new soap I don't like the smell of. It's perfumey, and I don't like perfumey. It's supposed to be lavender and violet. And it was supposed to be like, it's method, I don't know. It's supposed to be good for you, whatever. But it smells very perfumey. All right. Let's see. Joy is responding. Let's see if there's anything above you. Joy says, it's my other little giant. It's still working okay. Good. Did you talk to the company and see if they would replace a part? Because that would be awesome. PJ's doing decaf. And Steve says decaf is not real coffee. And coffee is nasty from Ed. I agree with you, Ed. I don't know, guys. Coffee to me, I know people are like, that smells so good. No, it smells like a dead rat to me. So I'm with you, Ed. If you ever see me, if you're near me and you have coffee and I go like this, it's probably like, okay, smells like coffee. Val says, yes, Dawn, I have chickens and ducks too, but they are my old girls. I will keep what I've got because I'm a softie. That's good. And Joy agrees with Ed. Awesome. There's 3 of us versus the world. Oh, boy. Our town is getting another Starbucks. Coffee makes you live longer. Longer than what? How do we know this? How do we know that that person wouldn't have lived longer if they didn't have coffee? It's a measure of one. PJ's gonna get wired if she has the real coffee, huh? All right. A dead rat. You're laughing at me. Okay, what does it smell like to you? It when we were still, so we work from home now. But when we used to work in the office, I would know like about a minute before anybody else knew that the coffee was done because I would smell a dead rat. And then like a minute later, one of my coworkers would go, "Coffee." I'm like, yeah, I knew that. Anyway. Uh I'll be sure to drink tea around you, Katrina. Erica says, "Hey, it's okay. It's okay. It's a coffee world, isn't it? Longer than no coffee." Oh boy. Verna says, "I only brew flavored coffee. I'm drinking some chocolate type coffee." Well, it would be better if you just had chocolate. Everything's better with chocolate, Verna. Oh boy. It smells like coffee to you? Okay. I mean, it smells like coffee to me, just it smells like dead rat. Anyway, the mysterious they, Steve says, say coffee is linked to a lower likelihood of type 2 diabetes, heart disease, liver, and endometrial cancers, Parkinson's disease, and depression. I mean, I think sugar is linked to type 2 diabetes in a different way. That doesn't necessarily mean, one or the other. I think there's multiple things. Anyway, it's not a strong enough argument to make me drink coffee. Um, yeah. Either that or if those people don't drink coffee. Yeah. Yeah. Joy says, I want to try mushroom coffee. I've not had mushroom coffee. I've had mushroom tea, which I think is the same thing, isn't it? Several years ago, the National Heirloom Expo, when it was still in Santa Rosa, there was a mushroom company. I don't even remember the name of it, but they were selling mushroom teas. It had like the lion's mane and the whatever there's like ones that are very popular right now, and it had those before they were really like known in stores and stuff, at least by me. And that's a good. It wasn't like my favorite thing, but it wasn't horrible. Yeah. Brenda says plain chocolate has too much calories. Well, then you got to get a cacao. What is it called? Miami Fruit will sell them to you and ship them to you. They're expensive, but they do it. They also do freeze-dried chocolate, which is the fruit part of the chocolate, the white part, and that's really good. That's an interesting experience. Chocolate is interesting in general. Someone has to keep donkey and oh boy. So Ed's against Starbucks, huh? If I go there, which is pretty rare, I get the chai latte, the hot one. And I learned this from my coworker who used to be, well, he used to be a manager or assistant manager or something at a Starbucks for, a long time when he was younger. And I'm like, sometimes it has good flavor, sometimes it doesn't. And he says, if you want more flavor, just ask for them for extra water. Like, what? Apparently, the more milk that goes in there, the less spicy it is. There you go. There's my secret Starbucks trick. Hmm. Oh boy. You have to ferment those beans to make chocolate? Yeah, but you can eat them. You don't. I'm saying that it's going to be. It's probably going to be healthier if you just eat the fruit and the seeds, because you can eat the fruit and the seeds. The seeds are bitter. Yeah. You don't buy anything Starbucks? I very rarely go there. I just don't think they need to be like, on the corner of everything here. Um, Dawn says, when I could not drink coffee, I drank roasted and ground chicory root. Now I like to mix it in my coffee sometimes. So chicory has been a substitute. And then we have something called coffee berry here. I have no idea. It's a native plant. Berries are like that big. But I have no idea taste-wise what it is, what it isn't. I have never had it. I don't have a need to have it. But it was a coffee replacement for settlers that came here before coffee came here. Erica can't stand Starbucks. There you go. Dutch Brothers Caramelized is pretty good. Is it even coffee by then? Oh boy. Oh, Vernon, I think the freeze dried, they have like a variety pack for freeze dried fruit. I don't know. I'm not like supported by them or anything, but they do good things, and they are very expensive. But it does make a good, like if you're wanting to get a gift for someone, and it's like, what the heck do I get for this person? They just buy everything they need, or they have everything they need. Getting them a fruit box is kind of a fun thing. They have variety boxes and stuff. I have no idea if they do affiliates or anything. I should probably ask them. But yeah, Miami fruit is just the name of it. You can also use dandelion root in place of coffee. Okay. Oh, Dawn says it has too much. Starbucks has too much poison in it, and all the flavorings too. There is a lot of things in a lot of foods we eat. Britta says, "Yeah, you all can do that for my birthday." Dandelion is a diuretic. So is green cabbage. Yeah, Erica's about to mention dandelion. Yeah. Oh, their flavorings are all poison, not real. Okay, so you're saying like if it's strawberry flavored, it's not from strawberry. If it's whatever flavored, yeah. What's beech nut coffee? Isn't it from a nut that's called beech nut? I don't know. I don't know. Oh my goodness. PJ, how did you find that out? She says her daughter is highly allergic to dandelions. That is a weird thing to be allergic to. Is it the latex in it? Like the white milky stuff? I think that's latex. It might not be. That is interesting. I should have some of my tea that I made an hour and 20 minutes ago. It's cold now. But still good. All right. So we already saw who had baby chicks. Just a double meaning, because there's chicks and they're already babies. Who has baby bunnies right now? I have baby bunnies. David has baby bunnies. Verna has baby bunnies. I'm sure Andy Rabbit has baby bunnies. Oh, yeah, you do. Who else has baby bunnies right now? Or on the way? Verna says, I have kits. A kit is a baby bunny, in case anybody is watching that does not know that. Yeah. And Ed says, dragons love dandelions. I bet they do. The rabbits love dandelions. Everybody here, well, all the animals here love dandelions, but the rabbits is where it goes to, because I give other things to the birds. So PJ says she picked them to take to the neighbor, and her face blew up like a balloon. Oh my gosh. How sad. Have a good night, Dawn. Thank you for coming, and I hope everything goes well. Verna says, and next month, Smokey will have kids too. Hope her milk comes in this time. Yes. Verna, I had a rabbit that her milk didn't come in, I think is what happened, because it wasn't even her first litter, but her milk didn't come in. And I mean, I didn't realize it. And like at the end of I check them in the morning, okay, she had babies. And then I checked them that evening, and all but two were dead. And the two that weren't alive were at the bottom of the pile. I think she thought all of them were dead, because when I picked them up and one squeaked, she came like hopping over. And I mean, I didn't pick it up. It was still in the box. And I had removed the other dead ones, and that one squeaked, and she came over and she went right in there and she took my finger with her teeth, and she wasn't biting, but she just took it and she went, she threw my hand like, get out of here. I got this under control. My babies need me. And I think she just didn't have her milk come in. Yeah. PJ says she can't sit outside near dandelions. My bunnies are all wild outside. Wow. Joy says, I wish I had the money to get rabbits. Well, so keep selling your quail and you will. Yeah. Okay. Good luck, Dawn. Good luck. No, they did not, Verna. I didn't realize what was happening until they were already gone. That was when I was fairly new to rabbits, and I did not realize what was happening. And I probably should have. I mean, I'm a biologist. I know these things. I just didn't think of it. And when you're in the moment, sometimes you don't think of the things you should, which is true for every topic. Okay, yeah, good luck, Dawn. Good luck. All right, so we have bunnies. The bunnies that I've been following for the daily short, they are 10 weeks today. And so I plan to weigh them tonight. We'll see if that actually happens. But they are starting to fill out, and 12 weeks is when they go to freezer camp. So they have a couple more weeks, and then they'll be going. I'm going to be doing a daily short. I'm going to try and keep remembering to do it with the quail as well. You guys will let me know. You think that's a good idea, bad idea? I don't know. And I like to see them kind of later, where you can go back later and look at the progression. But maybe some other things you guys want to see a progression of. I should probably do that with something growing, right? I just think it's fun to have that every day kind of thing. All right. You have many to send to freezer camp. Verna, you better do that soon before their hides get when they get older, their connective tissue in between the hide gets thicker. So yeah, I would do that sooner rather than later. And good luck. Britta says those 8 look like chunks of rabbits. LOL, so big. Yes. Sometimes mama feeds them really, really big, and it's so funny because I'm like, how does your belly stretch that far? Like that one a couple weeks ago in the week in review. It like literally couldn't turn around because it was so big with milk. And I'm like, okay, go sleep that off, little dude. I'm like, you're gonna pop. Oh, progression of the peaches. That's a good idea. My desert gold peach tree, It has peach leaf curl. It just does. I didn't spray this year. We had rain. I was sick. Lots of things. It is what it is. It has lots of peaches on it. Those peaches will likely not be as good as years that it has, no peach leaf curl. And those peaches I will likely turn into jelly or jam. It's gonna be jam. And that's just the way it is. Yeah. But yeah, that's a good idea of some of the different fruits. All right, Val. Yes. Yeah. So you guys going through surgery soon. I hope everything goes well. I hope everything, your recovery and all of that goes well. Absolutely. Berta says 10 days old for her rabbits, and they look like they are over 2 weeks, except their eyes are not open. They'll be opening in the next couple days. Yeah, they'll be opening in the next few days. And it's so funny because one day you'll see like one kind of peek open, and then like 2 days later they're all open, and that's when they start getting out of the nest box and everything. So Verta, I don't know if you have to worry about it where you are because you're indoors, but if you're outdoors, whenever you start seeing the eyes open, that's when to be cognizant of, oh, I need to go out in the evening and put them back in the box if they hop out. I use a brick that I put in right in front of the nest box so they can hop up like a stair. Sometimes they're a little too small for that. There are other people that just turn the nest box on the side so they can find their way in. There's lots of different ways to do it. Yeah. Yeah, a couple of them are jumpers, Fern says. Exactly. Exactly. What? Val? I don't know what you're referring to. I didn't realize I was letting you guys have a private conversation. If you want me to read all that stuff, I can, but there you go. Sorry. I would not mean that. All right. Have you ever tried to grow a peach in a bottle just for fun? No, I have not. I've seen people do watermelons in like cinder blocks, and I don't know how that would work in a bottle. Are you talking about a peach tree? Or are you talking about putting the bottle over the growing peach and having it grow in the bottle? Because I haven't done that. Yeah. And what I was thinking is like it would be too soft to get a shape that's different, maybe, but maybe not because it's hard before it turns soft. So I don't know. Have you done it? Verna says I check every time I go to the bathroom. As the other day, 2 were out of the nest box as Mooney got startled and they were attached. Yeah, yeah. A chat X, unless you remember. You guys must be talking about something that I don't know what it is, so I don't think I know what you're talking about. Oh, no, it's good. I am good with whatever you guys want to talk about. Just know that people can see it. So as long as you're good with that, you're good. You're good. I just figure at some point some conversations are between people, and that's completely fine. You guys can talk about family friendly stuff at least. And yeah, we're here to support each other. So that is completely fine. All right. Yeah, we all talk about random things. Yep. Random things, sometimes personal things, sometimes not personal things. It's good. Yeah, Chadex, I don't know what that is either. But Dawn's going into bed. Good night, Dawn. You stayed half an hour late. My goodness. All right. Oh yeah, and something else. I know it happened last time on the last live. If I miss a comment, either I missed it honestly, or I was thinking that you were talking between and amongst yourselves, or YouTube can actually remove comments and I don't ever see them. We had that happen last week with Verna's comment, and she had to reword her comment in a way that didn't have trigger words, even though they weren't trigger words for what we were talking about. They're trigger words for other things. So if I miss a comment and it might have any sort of trigger word that maybe you did or didn't think of, retype it in a different way and it might get through. So that's actually something that came up last week. She can't silence us all. Okay, just the peach like a ship in the bottle. I've never done it. Yeah, that sounds interesting. I'm wondering how that would work. Like how it would work, like if insects get in there is the only thing. Like if they're eating it or something. I don't know. Try it. Try it and report back. Oh. Okay. Thank you, Steve. Berta would never be silent. It's getting pretty late on the East Coast, TM says. Do you have... I don't remember where you are. Do you have Aurora Borealis happening tonight? It isn't even 11 p.m. Verna says, not late yet. Verna stays up till like 3. And PJ's in bed already. Oh, PJ, but you got to get up early. Good night, PJ. 2:33 a.m. where you are, Val. That is early. That is early. You must be a night owl. Andy's back from feeding. Andy, how many baby rabbits, also called kits? I'm realizing I did not say that before. How many kits do you have right now? I think you have a few mamas, don't you? Erica says 9:30 here and 7:30 here. Only wait for the live stream. Oh, Erica. Maybe you feel special. TM's in Florida, Steve says. We'll see what TM says. Hence your comment when you first came in. 2 rabbits pulling fur. All right. That's exciting. That's exciting. We risotto and penne should be having let's see, we bred them on the 19th. So 7, 14, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. So I'll put the nest box in on the 14th or the 15th of April and should have them. We might have kids for your birthday, Erica. Yeah. So that's cool. That's cool. Yeah. Good. 8:34 in Utah. So you're in Utah. That Utah is not Florida, Steve. Verna's going to check on my blues, see if one is a female. If so, going to mate her with her daddy. That's good. That's good. Andy says, I only have 2 litters of 6-week-olds right now. 5 and 3 equals 8. Oh, 8 babies, 8 kits. Good. Erica gets up at 5, so this is late for me. Oh my gosh, Erica, you might want to go to bed. Yeah, Val says I sleep when I can get the pain meds kick in. There are some nights where it's just, for me, it's if I forget to put on the fan. I like sleeping with a fan. It has the air movement and the sound. And if I forget that, I'm like, partway through, like, okay, why can't I sleep? Why can't I sleep? And sometimes it's like, I've been sitting there for like a couple hours trying to sleep. And it's like, oh, I should probably turn on the fan. Yeah. I've been considering getting a one of those sound machines that has the waves, because that's a really relaxing sound for me. Erica says, that's cool. I would love some rabbits for my birthday. Oh. Okay, so Andy is telling Verna, even a black with your buck will give you more blues. So Verna got rabbits from Andy Rabbit. That's why she knows this, and she knows the parentage of the bucks, or of all of them, right? Yeah. Val will still be awake when Erica gets up. Okay. So TM says, I did live in Alabama and Mississippi before I moved. There you go. Now you're in much drier places, huh? He said late on the East Coast. He confused you. Yep. Yep. Eric's fallen asleep on the live a few times. Hey, that's okay. That's okay. When you weren't supposed to admit that? Was that boring? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, I know it's late for some people, but hey, 6 o'clock here is a decent time. And, I usually get off work at 4. Sometimes things happen where I have to deal with things after that. And I figure that's enough of a buffer time between work and this that I can, because I do work full time. besides YouTube, I do work full time. And then, this is like another full time. Yeah. All right. Buster says, Katrina, maybe the black does will have a different color. I don't know. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Now, I did note we talked about the color before, and I did note that one of Ravioli's babies that is in the grow out hutch right now, the ones that we're following, does have some white hairs in it, like risotto and penne have, where they're all black but have some white hairs. But I have a feeling that's probably from mom's genetics. Anyway, I just thought that was interesting. But yeah, we'll find out. We'll find out probably around the 20th. All right. But what does the black and blue give me? Brenna says. Yes, Andy knows the genetics for those. Colder too in Utah? Yeah. Now, TM, are you in the mountains or are you in the desert? In the high desert? I spent a summer in the high desert, kind of near Bear Lake, doing pygmy rabbit research. Yeah. You get black and blue. No bruises. Or chocolate. No. Okay. Is black a dominant gene in rabbits? That is a question for Andy. Because I don't know. Erica says, you can't do this at a perfect time for everyone. We are scattered all over in different time zones. Absolutely. Absolutely. I try to find a good time that works best for most people. Works best for me. And didn't intrude on other people's lives that I knew about. I'm sure there's others that I don't know about. Yeah. Okay, Andy Rabbit says you have to have at least one of them be broken to get a broken. If both parents are solid, all babies will be solid. Okay. Okay. And it depends if black is dominant. Okay. All right. So TM's in the north, 4,200 feet in elevation. Okay. I'm never boring. Oh, thank you, Erica. And it has a cute chuckle. I guess that's good. How you know I'm genuine, right? Oh boy. All right, so we talked baby quail and baby kits, baby chicks and baby kits. Tomorrow's video, tomorrow? No, not tomorrow. Okay. Well, tomorrow's video is going to be about peppers and green stalks, but Thursday's video, you agree? Oh, Thursday's video is going to be probably nobody in the comments needs this video, but maybe you need the information in it to tell other people. basically, I have a video coming out about things people need to know when they get their kid a Easter chick or a Easter bunny, because there's a lot of things that there's a lot of animals that die right after Easter, and there's a lot of animals that were given up for adoption pretty close right after Easter, and that's because of lack of knowledge of the people who are getting these kids. They're cute little fluff balls, or fuzzy bunnies or whatever. And so I think, number one, if you are selling any time around Easter time, make sure you give a little bit of an extra spiel, however you say that word, a little bit of extra information about care, because you're likely you could be talking to slightly different audience. One that maybe necessarily doesn't know all the stuff going into it, and you're probably going to have to tell them, hey, if there's kids, be gentle, all of that. So take the extra time with them if you're selling an animal around Easter. But then also, some people offer a return policy, or they offer a return policy. Some people have a return policy, and that's something that is up to you. And if you're MPIP, make sure you check with your MPIP people for what you should be doing. But some places offer a return, hey, if it doesn't work out, you can return it. We'll give you half the money back or all the money back or whatever. And or maybe they just surrender the animal to you, so that's something to think about. But the video is really for the people who are buying, who are purchasing. But I do want to make sure that if any of you guys or anybody who sells animals around Easter, just to make sure, hey, is this an Easter gift, or is this pet or whatever? I have heard of people potty training quail, Caternix quail, and I have people do this very successfully, and it works, and they can have a house quail that is attached to them. Now, in most times, you're not going to want to have one quail, because quail live in a covey. It's a group of quail. But if you have one quail and you are its covey, then it becomes more okay. All right, let's zoom up here and see what people say. So we get eclipse and Easter. That's what we're talking about. All right. Rabbits have color grouping black. Cholo? Oh, chocolate. Like, what's cholo? You agree. Oh. Okay, so it depends on what's in the bloodline. Yeah, they shouldn't get them. Verta says, I refuse to sell my rabbits for Easter. Exactly. So I think if it was a pre-planned thing that this kid has wanted a rabbit forever, and they said yes, and then they decide to make that decision as a Easter thing, I think that's fine. If it's oh my gosh, what do I get my kid for Easter? Well, everything's so commercialized now, right? But then that's a different story. Yeah. And Andy says, if the rabbit has only black, you will get black only. If there has been blue or chocolate in the background, it can pop out a few generations down the line. It really does depend. Okay. And I guess that means if you have, and that's why pedigree would be important, right? Is that it might not be like what the person wants, and you might pop out a few generations later. I don't know. I don't really particularly care about color because I'm raising for meat, but it's kind of fun to see the broken ones. Steve says, I'm going to post a sign at Tractor Supply and say, if you get a chick for Easter and change your mind, I'll pick up for free. That is a fabulous idea. Steve, that's a fabulous idea. That being said, make sure you keep them separate from your birds because you don't know what they brought in. That is why Tractor Supply does not, even if they make a mistake, like they did with mine when I got the chickens. I went in on because you had a minimum of 6 chickens, I think, that you could order, and I couldn't have 6 chickens. I have rabbits, like if your minimum is a certain number for the city. Anyway, so I was going to have 3 chickens, and my neighbor wanted more chickens, so we went on an order together. Not order, but we went there together, and they gave us the wrong chicks. We brought them home. We're like, after a few days, we're like, I don't think this is what we got, and they weren't. So we tried to return them. They wouldn't return them because livestock once they leave, do not come back to the store. So that is an excellent thing to put up there. The reason being they don't know what diseases they've picked up. They don't know how they've been cared for or anything like that. And anything that gets returned, they want to be able to sell, which I think is really, really, like, it makes sense. But at the same time, if it's the store's fault, they need to be the responsible party and find homes for them at that point. But I have opinions, guys. Excellent idea, Steve. Val says that's what he thought. Okay. Andy says, I will sell my rabbits for Easter with agreement that I will take them back for free. Yep. So don't even return money. Just say, yep, I'll take it back. Don't give any money back. Yeah. Just rent them for a while. Tian, that's a good idea. You could rent them. Yeah. Could be Santa Claus and have a petting zoo of Santa Claus. Well, not Santa Claus. I'm saying like you could go around like all the different Santa Clauses do. I'm sorry, Santa Claus and his helpers go all around. You could be Easter Bunny's helper. Yeah. Yep. Andy says I can either find a new home or a new camp for them. Yep. Exactly, Val. Erica says Andy just came through and commented on me not being asleep yet. She'd be sure I was asleep for the last half hour live. Oh, he. Not this Andy. You're Andy. I always get confused when you say that. How funny. Yeah, exactly, Val. If trouble is, if it leaves and comes back, it could carry diseases, or I mean, it could also have other health issues. Did a kid squeeze it and now it has internal issues? Did it have, what was it being fed? All sorts of stuff. All right. Andy says blue and chocolate has to be on both the mother and the father side to get them those colors. Okay. And versus that's why I wondered if I might get a chocolate since Bucky, you moved. Come back. Says Bucky does have some chocolate in his line. And explaining, even though Verna's buck is black, it's kind of like he is half blue and half black. Blue is hiding on him. So blue is a recessive and black is dominant. Is there codominance in color? I don't know. I understand genetics, but I don't have the background for the color genetics for rabbits. Vera, does your dough kind of like half chocolate, hidden chocolate? There you go. Steve says, Erica, tell your Andy she's taking attendance and you can't sleep. Oh my gosh. Yeah, in 2 different Andys. You guys are funny. All right, Verna wants to know if she could eventually get a chocolate. It's not the kind of chocolate I was telling you about, Verna, but it is healthy to eat. I mean, what's inside? You got to unwrap it first. Okay, rabbits can show one color group at a time. Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah, mine have always either cover color. It's on top? Okay. I've only ever raised with Californian and New Zealand, and the babies have been always mixes, and it's always ever been looking like a black New Zealand or looking like, I mean, the color wise, it was black. It was either black or it looks like the Californian markings. And there's a few black ones out of those mixes that kind of not immediately, but later, like not as adults, but when they're still growing, they have like flecks of little white hairs randomly placed. So I'm assuming that comes from the Californian, but who knows? Maybe there was some white in Tortellini. She was the black New Zealand. But she never had, just white babies. They always had the white with the little California markings. All right. Gave him Steve's message. He says, then be less boring. Berta says, yeah, a chocolate rabbit would be fun, and I could eat it after sending to freezer camp. Yep. Steve says, okay. So it's funny how his comments are matching our conversation, which he can't hear. Oh boy. Maybe he can hear. Maybe a supersonic hearing. Okay, Andy's answer. You can get a chocolate in time, Verna. You have to work more on breeding from the girl's side. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So Val's asking if Verna's doing because for the meat, or she's asking because of the color. And Verna's doing it for meat, but you like playing with the colors, and you plan to tan the hides. Yeah. A chocolate colored rabbit does not taste like chocolate. How do you know, Steve? Have you tried this? Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So it'll be interesting with these kits, this line, Percy's line, because his fur is so much softer than any of the adults that I have or had, and they do melt. Gosh. Anyway, they. I don't even remember what I was saying. I saw that they do melt. I don't even remember what I was saying. What was I saying? Oh, that his fur is soft, and the babies are so much softer than previous babies, than Parmesan's babies. How is Parmesan doing? Parmesan is doing good. He is having some potty problems, so she's working on that. I gave her some suggestions, and so they're working on his potty issues. He is claiming the world, so they're working on that. All right. Andy says, your babies from your does now have a 50% chance of having chocolate, so the right buck will hold the chocolate gene. That should be a t-shirt. Can we make that into a t-shirt? The right buck will hold the chocolate gene. And have a picture of a chocolate bunny. Oh my gosh. Somebody make that. Oh. You could sell that, right? All right. What will you make with the hides? They melt in your mouth, not in your hands, Buster. Oh, yeah. There's lots of things you can do with the hides. If you're making things, you can make. I mean, you can make hats and gloves and scarves and whatever else, like clothing wise. You can make a coat if you want. You can make. You can make all sorts of things. You could also do like dog toys or something and do like twists and then dry it, so like not necessarily like so it's hard, and then that would have give dogs some of the nutrients that they get from the fur that they don't get otherwise, because they're going to rip it up and eat it, right? It's going to be healthier for them. You can do really anything you would make with something fluffy. Yeah, I think mostly of the hats, but you could just do hides and sell them as hides, soft hides, and people can make whatever they want. Yeah. Yeah, Verna says, first thing I want to make is a blanket out of my hides. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. Andy wants to know who she gave to Verna. Oh boy. How funny. You guys are funny. All right. So who plans on seeing the eclipse? You can't really raise your hand, can you? I think I'm going to be skipping this one, unfortunately. Too expensive, too time, all of that. But I hope to all of you aiming to see the eclipse that you see it in clear skies, blue skies, smiling at you. Nothing but blue skies. Do you see? Oh, Andy's going like this. Me. Yeah, I hope you have good skies, good clear skies to see. And if you are in an area you can watch the Aurora Borealis tonight, go outside, step outside, and look, because you might be able to see some dancing colors in the sky. There you go. It will be cloudy at Verna's place. Erica says, I don't have much choice. I'm in the middle of the path. You do. You could go like this all day. But please don't be inside when that happens. Andy Rabbit says, my town is having a big 4-day festival for this thing. It is pretty cool, though. If you can get to where total, like, if you're on the edge, like, just drive or walk. Take your bike. Fill up your tank now. Gas. Because it's pretty cool to see the total eclipse in the path of totality, which is pretty cool. All right. Steve may see it at 98.5% if my boss will let me go outside that day. Steve, take the day off. Take the day off and drive however many miles it is to get to 100%. Do it. Do it. Verna says, I think everyone here is too far south for the Northern Lights. Drive north. No. Okay. Erica says, we have a 50% chance of clouds, but it's still going to get dark. Yep. Andy Rabbit says, I'm middle of the path. Val says, I was in the total eclipse in Cornwall. It was magical. Awesome. Is this the same eclipse? I don't know where it goes. I know it goes New York to Texas, but I have not looked at the rest of the world. Obviously, it happens at the rest of the world. Awesome. Yeah, I saw the one in 2017 from my parents' house, so that was pretty cool. Yeah, awesome. All right, so get your glasses, get your welding masks, get your goggles, welding masks, at least 14. What's the unit on that, Steve? The 14 what? Yeah. Oh, that was a few years ago? Time for a new one. All right. And have patience when you're driving and seeing people and all that in these areas. There are people who come and chase these things all over the world. They're pretty cool. Erica says, the map we looked at has a red line showing the exact middle. It runs right through our property in Oklahoma. Oh my gosh. Wow. Well, there you go. There you go. How funny. Welding shade 14. Yeah. Steve, does that have a unit? 14 what? Or is it like saying gauge 14 or 14 gauge? It's a shade 14? Is shade the unit? Maybe that is it. Yeah. Welding shade 14 or glasses ISO 12312-2. Almost a waltz. And that's what. Okay, shining light. There we go. There we go. That's what you want. And these are only good for 3 years. I don't know if it actually has an expiration date, but they're good for 3 years, and that is has something to do with the film on it. Degrades or something. Yeah. Andy says, saw it a few years ago. It was so cool. The ground looked like it had thousands of crested moons on the ground. Absolutely. Absolutely. The total eclipse is going to look different than that. I mean, you're still going to get that on either side of it, but there's a diamond ring effect in the middle. Erica says we're only 15 miles away from there now. That's awesome. Bought your glasses already, Andy says. Awesome. Val says this really is something special, but a bit freaky. Everything goes quiet. No sound. Like even the sound that you thought it was quiet, and nope, it gets more quiet. Okay, lens shade units is what Wellman helmets are. Thank you, Steve. Steve's our fact checker today. Verna says we will only see the darkness because of weather. Well, maybe it'll clear up for that. I mean, in 2017, when I was up at my parents' for this, it was a really, really, really smoky time. That was a year with a lot of fires, wildfires, and the whole sky was just choked out with smoke. And that smoke cleared at like that morning. It cleared, and we were able to see it. You could see smoke all around the horizon, but not, anywhere up here. Verna saw 2017. Awesome. Yeah. Yeah, we made those boxes too, Andy. She says, I remember when I was in school, there was one, and we made a box with tinfoil to look at it. And you know what? These are so much more impressive than that tinfoil box looking at a shadow. Yeah. But I remember doing that. Erica says she remembers doing that too. Yeah, for sure. It was an interesting experience. And things have changed. I mean, that's technology that changed. I don't even know when these came out. Did they have those when we were kids? Probably not. Probably just people carrying around shoe boxes going like this. Verna says, yeah, I saw 2017 in the shadow box. Was not impressed. Yeah, it's not impressive. I mean, it is impressive, but it's not as impressive nearly as using the glasses. Tam says, I never really pay attention to an eclipse. Pay attention. Get these glasses. I don't even know how much they are now. Like $3, $5. I think they have silver on them. Like silver something. I don't even know if it even says on here. It just says it meets the requirements. Yeah. Has user instructions and everything. All right. Right. I agree. They are more cooler. Yep. Exactly. All right, everybody. It is after 8 o'clock. My tummy's hungry, so we can chat maybe a couple minutes more if you want. Then it's dinner time. All right. Val says you have to pay attention if it's a total eclipse. Absolutely. I don't think Utah's out of the line this time, but I mean, if you can travel, do it. And it's not going to come to the United States, I think, again for a while. All right. Erica says, we had a teacher with a welding helmet, and I got to see through that. Awesome. Andy Rabbit says, I wish I can remember what phone I was using when the last one came around. I have a really cool picture of the ground shadows. Awesome. That's another thing to mention is, I mentioned this earlier, but I'll do it again here. This is one of the eyepieces, torn. If you don't have an appropriate lens, you want to put something over your camera. And this actually works pretty well if your camera lens is that small. And for what I was using, this worked. I have a different camera now, but this worked. So there you go. There you go. You can just, and this is just painter's tape, so it didn't destroy anything on the camera. Just taped it on, and it was good to go. What's for dinner? Val says, I don't know yet. That's the thing. I have to do hard-boiled eggs because one of my coworker friends is coming over. We're gonna go to a site visit, but I told her we would make egg salad for lunch first before we go. So I have to do that, but that's not what's for dinner. I don't know yet. Andy says, I wish we had an empty room right now. I would rent it out during this 4-day event. Andy, people were renting their driveways for people to tent camp in. You can rent space in your yard, I'm sure. I don't know if you legally can, but things kind of get overlooked with these things. I'm kind of wanting pasta, Val. I don't think I have any readily made. I don't have any that I made before and kept. I think I'm out of that. I have to go to the store and get some. TM says, I would have been one of the people in history that would get fooled by people with an eclipse. Yeah, all the sacrifices and stuff. Yep. Val says, I cooked ham yesterday, Val. Vay says, I cooked ham yesterday, Val. So ham and tomato sandwiches. There you go. Val says, when you live alone, it's not worth cooking. It is. What I've done is you make one big meal and then you eat it all week. Like that's what I've done. And then when you make your next thing and there you go. And if you are okay with that and you're okay with that, if not, then you can put some in the freezer, or if you're freeze dry, you can freeze dry. I've been wanting lasagna lately, but I haven't made it. Yeah, it is worth it. But you don't have to cook, a whole bunch every day. Just cook one. Yeah. Erica says the college here is renting out parking spots. Yep, exactly. Andy says someone could probably put up one or two tents in my yard. Exactly. There you go. Here's your diversification. And ham and egg salad sandwiches. I could do that without the ham. I'm not a fan of ham. I like bacon. I like bacon and breakfast sausage. That's about. And then ham is. Sometimes you make a big stew. Exactly. Verna says freeze-dried ham or turkey is great as it is rehydrated. Good. Lady Marianne, you're on here again, late, or early as I see. Hello from windy South Florida. Welcome, Marianne. We're about to hang up. Let us know if you have any questions. We've talked tonight mostly about the eclipse and the northern lights that are coming south, probably not as far as you tonight. And we had a lot of rabbit discussion today. Yeah. All right. Let us know your thoughts, your questions. Yeah, I know when the Super Bowl was here, people were renting out whatever they could, backyard places, their driveway. They were renting out spots on their living room floor. That was when the Super Bowl was here a few years ago, more than a few years ago now. I don't even know what year that was. And yeah, that's you can capitalize on that. Just know that if someone is doing it late, it's gonna cost them by plane ticket like $1,600. That's what I priced out to get anywhere in that little strip there. There you go. Lady Marianne says, no, I'm late. I'll have to go back and listen to chat tomorrow. Welcome here right now and have fun with it tomorrow. All right. Good night, says Busters. Good night. Lady Marianne has a question. I do have a question. I have quail now, and They leave a lot of feed when it powders. Can that be fed to chickens? If so, should it be wet or would the chickens eat it dry? Thank you. So are you powdering your food? Are you grinding your food? Or is it just like the powder that it's in the bottom because, the big pieces are gone? So that's a question that I have. Good night, Val. Good having you here. And Lady Marianne says, looking forward to getting rabbits myself soon. The answer is yes, you can feed that to chicken, and you can wet it or not wet it. Either one is fine. If you wet it, it's to be given right now. You don't really need to like have it sit for several days or something. That could grow something that you don't want. But I guess I would answer, I hope you're not grinding feed. And if you are grinding feed, I would stop. And you should be getting the crumbles. And so I feed mine 27% turkey starter, and that's enough protein. But yeah. So TM says, I would like to hear about the dangers of putting feed in a blender. Good night, Ed. Thank you for being here. Yeah, you feed them crumble. Okay, I'll answer Lady Marianne's first, and then we'll talk about the powder. Rabbits are good. They are. So yeah, if it's just like the dust in the bottom and they're not eating it. So this is related to what TM is asking. So if it's crumble, you shouldn't have to make it any smaller. The crumble has multiple different sizes in it. It's not all the same size. But what happens is the crumble is basically crushed up pellets, and the pellets are formulated in such a way that every single pellet is supposed to have the same nutrition. Now, there's going to be some variation. It's not all going to be, totally mixed, but it is mixed pretty well. And so that is something that there's an actual machine that is specific to it to make crumbles out of pellets, which is why sometimes you'll find a pellet in your crumbles. Sometimes I do, at least. And hi. And so if it's already in the crumble stage, it is small enough for your birds. First day or two, they'll only eat the small pieces. They'll pick through it. They'll get the small pieces. And then once they're a couple days old, they'll be eating the bigger pieces. So the way I feed, and you guys should see this on my shorts, really. I mean, I just did shorts. I'll do another one when I get off the live. I feed for the first week on the blue paper towel. And then after the first week, I'll take that up and they'll be on wire. I'll probably leave it a few days after that this time because I put too much food on there and I don't like wasting the food. So they'll probably have a couple extra days on there. But it's spread out. And so they're able to pick through it and spread it out and all that. And they'll get to all the pieces. When you have the powder doesn't have the nutrients equally spread. And so that's going to count for both the powder that you get at the bottom of a feeder and actually grinding your feed. So if it's just a little bit of powder, they're going to eat it, or maybe they don't, but they're likely going to eat it, and it's not going to be bad for them. But if you are grinding it, if it gets fine, that amount of fine powder is going to be uneven in the nutrients. So it might have more of this here and less of that there. They might not be getting the nutrients that remain in the crumble form. And so you should not be only feeding them the small stuff. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. There is also a risk, and all this information I'm telling you about this right now is coming from what I've heard from my Shire farm from Zach. I've not had personal experience with this because I don't grind my feed. There's no need to. They will pick it up. So They can also, if it's ground too fine, it can suffocate them. So that goes in there, and it can be a bad result. So let's see what other people have come up with, and all of that. Yeah, so you're referring to the powder that the crumble creates at the bottom of the feeder. So hopefully I answered both of your questions, but let's talk about it. All right. So Steve says, I think of it like if you're drinking chocolate milk by putting a spoon of cocoa in your mouth, then drinking the milk. I leave my powder in the food container, then I pick a day and don't add fresh food until the powder is gone. Like what your parents said, you had to clean your plate. That makes sense. Yeah, I mean, for the big feeders, I don't go in there and scoop out the powder. I'm assuming that it's going down at a slow rate. And so, yeah, they'll eat the powder, they'll eat the bigger stuff, but you don't want to just have it be, that powder or that really, really fine stuff. Val says, so Swanson, I do that with my chickens. I feed a mix and then sort. They sort the best out first. Yeah. TM says, but the quail grow pretty fast. Exactly. They grow fast, so they will eventually get the bigger ones. So there's no reason to do anything about the bigger pieces because they're going to get to them. Yeah. Lady Marianne says, thank you. I try that with the powder too. Yeah. And Andy says, my quail eat the powder. Yeah, I don't have like leftover powder in the bottom of mine. And it doesn't build up in the feeder like it does with rabbit feed powder. And actually, let me give you another. This has nothing to do with the quail, but let me give you a prop. All right. So rabbit feed also has that powdery stuff. Even though they're pellets, they still have powder because they cut the pellet, right? And I've switched 2 feeders so far, and I have this third one. I have another one that I'm going to switch, but of course, you guys heard me before talk about these feeders. They have the screen on the back so all the dust can fall through. And guess what I found when I went back to Tractor Supply? This one, plus the 2 that I took off the shelf and told them that they should not put it back on because they were broken. And so I told the lady again. Anyway, these are good. They're working really well. And even rigatoni, even ravioli only shook it for like 1 day before she's like, hey, this is kind of nice. So she's my rabbit that's like, I don't like anything. I'm going to destroy things. Give me something I like. So anyway, I am liking these feeders. I do want to see how they work when the babies are the kits are out of the nest box, which Ravioli's kits are going to be out of the nest box pretty soon. And it is more reachable for them. They don't have to like shove their face in the tiny hole. So yeah, I haven't had an issue with these yet. And so yeah, we'll keep you guys in the loop. Okay. TF says, I thought everyone drank chocolate milk like that, Steve. Lady Marianne says, thank you for the great explanation, Katrina. I'm just having lots of powder from the crumbles, and I'm trying to lessen the waste. Lady Marianne, I would ask, are you getting your feed from a mill, or are you getting your feed from like a feed store? And then the next question I would ask is, I would say, if you open up a bag of feed and it's basically powder, it has so much powder, I would try and return that and tell them I don't want the last load, right? because what's going to happen, what I'm thinking might be happening if you're having that much of an issue, is somewhere along the line they do chop those up, and they chop them up and they chop them up and they bag them and they bag them and bag them, and at some point they are going to have to empty the powder. There's going to be a lot of stuff, some little tiny stuff, and if that's what they're giving you, that's not going to have the same nutrient makeup potentially as the other larger chunks. So I would go, if it's a lot, I would go to the feed store or to the wherever you got it from and say, does this look normal to you? Because this is way too much powder. And then hopefully they'll go, oh my gosh, what the heck? Yeah, we'll give you your money back and get a new bag. And that is completely fine to ask for. Yeah, that's what I'll say about that. Val says, mine don't. I think I overfeed. If you're talking about quail, you're not going to overfeed quail. They should have food all the time. I don't know what you're talking about, though. Lady Marianne says, how are your chayotes doing? They are doing good. The one on this side of the path, which doesn't have water set up, is doing much better. I don't know why. It has reached the trellis, and it's been growing quite well. Like this week, I think it's gotten its roots deep enough now that it's focusing on the up growth. And so this week it actually grew quite a bit. The one on this side is growing, but it's growing at a slower rate. So I don't know why. Plants are different, but they're doing good. They look healthy. Andy Rabbit says, I mix a corn powder and crumble over the winter. I stopped feeding the corn powder and just fed the crumble. They didn't like it. I gave a little more of the mixed feed again, and they were happy. There you go. Yours don't like it either. Okay, you always go back and you had a word. So Val says, I always go back. I had a word with myself and decided to stop changing the food. Yeah. Yeah, they might have some attitude if their food changes. Andy says it could just be the corn powder they like, though. Although I will feed the rabbits feed dust and the quail sometimes, and the quail go crazy for it. Yeah. So when the rabbits drop, they drop pellets down through too in the aviary. But when the dust goes through, like sometimes I'll scoop in and like a bunch will come out. It's like, manna from heaven for the quail. And they like it. The chickens eat it up too. I can't imagine it would be bad for them. Yeah. Lady Marianne says, I get from the feed store. Yes, I'm thinking of returning and only getting them when new deliveries come in. Thank you. Yeah, if you're having that much of an issue and it's continuous, it's not just like a little bit, it very well could be that. See how that works and let us know if that fixes your issue, because that'll be interesting. Because the thing is, not everybody is going to return open feed bags, open bags of feed. I just recently returned. Well, Manuel picked some feed up for me that I told him what to get. He came home with something else and didn't check it, felt it was a pellet, and put it in with the rabbit feed in a trash can and had to dig it out because it wasn't rabbit feed. It was chicken feed in a pellet form. And they gave the wrong thing. So, yeah, there you go. Belle says, apparently the corn is like crack. So someone on a group said, they like it. And sometimes I get pieces of corn in there too, which is so funny with the quail because it's not, I don't know if it's not ever big enough, it's not ever small enough for them, or maybe like one of them finally eats it, but I'll see it. It'll get thrown around the whole aviary for a very long time. TM says, don't let us keep you all night. All right, I'm going to dinner. Thank you for the conversation, guys. I hope you had a good time. Again, I may be doing a live next Monday, but it will be my birthday and I have plans, so I am going to likely not do a live, at least right now at this time. It might be at a random time. I don't know. Anyway, no promises for next Monday. All right, Steve says one more thing. I tried pellets one time and the quail picked out the pellets and threw them down on the floor. 40 pounds of pellets in the manure. Steve, my original quail, I had a breeding set. I had 1 male and 5 females, and he was such a gentleman. When he found a whole pellet, he would hold it in his mouth and he would go like this, and he would call his ladies over, or one lady, and his favorite lady got overbred, like she was bald on her back, but he loved her so much. He would call her over and give it to her. He was such a gentleman, but I ate him. Okay. Andy says good night. Steve says no live on Monday. Old people can't do lives. Steve, I will always be younger than you. All right, Fussy. Yeah. All right. Good night, guys. I appreciate you guys. And yeah, enjoy. That was funny. Yeah. It's so funny. They're so cute. It's so cute. I will get off of here now. Have a wonderful Easter. And if I don't see you, and even if I do, have a wonderful April Fool's, my birthday. And we will see you at least on the 8th, if not before. And everybody who sees an eclipse, put a picture of it on the Facebook group. There you go. All right. Have a wonderful evening, and I will talk to you guys later. Good night.